Here we go. We got one person in the waiting room. Joy, if you want to come in, you have to click yes. If not, I'll assume you want to view it from the Zoom waiting room. Anybody that wants to come in and talk about what's going on? I know my internet's a little bit unstable, but it'll be all right. You want to talk about what's really happening within yourself? I feel like it's time to. All right, Joy, you let me know in the chat if you want to come in as a panelist. Boom. What is going on? Thank you for showing up. Joy, you're if you want to come up as a panelist, accept the invitation I just sent you.
Too much light. Dinner, whatever.
All right. So for everybody, we're having a roundtable discussion. The Zoom link is in the text of the Facebook of the live, and also a Facebook post, and also YouTube. Just look up there where the title is. And if you need the link, let me know and I'll put it in the comments. So Susan Bornstein, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. So how's it going?
Oh,
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I don't care. The other one.
No. Yeah, let's take a moment. I've never been to the depths that we're in right now. I'll start it with that. And I mean that in the purest way. And it's not anything to be overly excited about. It's not anything to be overly fearful about. It's somewhere in between, which is, this whole trip seems to be all about integrating. No more running. Your turn.
Interesting. I've been going through everything I've ever gone through at the most darkest and despairing times of my life. Total panic. Feel like I'm just insane. I could be psychotic easy. Just, yeah. And so I've just been remembering them like a recapitulation. And I couldn't say how anything ever got better in my life because I've been at moments as dark as this, except for miracles, I suppose. I mean, I did stuff, but in the end, was it what I did or was what I did just like an intent? That was my intent to something that was just invocation. Yeah, I find it very, very difficult. I guess. Yeah, very difficult.
I haven't been able to write for like, I don't even know. I haven't tried for a long time. Um, but something's happened over the last 2 or 3 days. Uh, I don't, I guess what I'm looking for or trying to, what would you say? Um, get a handle on what's going on. And I'm not going to go into what I've written. I'm just going to try to see if I can recall the gist of it, which is basically things are unwinding and reweaving at the same time. It's far beyond dying and birthing. It's a place. It's a place where we're like totally open, and it's scary, and it's but there's this thread that we're on the right track. It's the same thread that we've had the whole time. So
I don't know if
it's like,
I see that creation, that what we're creating is completely different than anything I've ever created in this lifetime, or probably others. Yeah, it's this a total other dimension of creation or dimensions of creation. And I don't think we've touched it yet. I don't think I'm conscious of that yet. I have intuition, I have knowledge, I have like remembering the future, but I've never really, really touched that in this lifetime yet. But it seems to be coming.
mm,
But
I feel like my physical body and my light, what we would refer to as our light body or etherical body or soul, multidimensionality to be included in that, um, is coming together at a physical, in a physical way. And I heard something yesterday. I heard a lot the last few days. I mean, it's crazy how you can go into the depths of the human consciousness and oneness of the human in our relationship to the infinite intelligence. Let's just put it that way, where nobody else is involved. And that's a powerful thing to have the insight as a human and gain the code of our experience in record time to be in tandem with our multidimensionality. So whatever is going on, I think one thing to consider is that we're having a very, very multidimensional experience more and more each day, each moment. Um, it's very humbling. It's very raw. It can be scary. Um, but I think we've had enough experience with the familiarity and the success, you might say, of our soul
mhm,
to rely on it now. And that means, in essence, to defy what's been going on in all ways.
mhm,
A cleanup, a cleanup and a coming out at the same time. And you're right about creation. It's a totally different game now. I mean, I'll end with this. I mean, I got today, I hope I can get it right, that all of us came out, all of us woke up, and we all had different experiences, but we found out they were all the same. This multi-dimensional connection, this something for everyone. It was different, but we all ended up in the same place. So we went out to create, and create is in every thought, word, and action. And as we did that, from our innocence, from our conditioning, from everything, or I can say for myself anyway, I reacted unconsciously and unknowingly, not in a bad way, from the reaction that I got from my expression. So just use like Sology as an example. And so when my soul came in, it said, the way you create is not to create for the reaction of the external, be it anyone or anything,
mhm,
but for how it makes you feel. And I know I've heard that before. Morgan and I have discussed it before, but it felt totally different. It felt not like putting up a post or making a video or a live. It felt like something that reached deep in my heart and soul that said, this is how we operate now, no matter what. Almost like a timeless download that negated time.
mhm. I don't know, my vision is kind of different, and I don't, people talk about how we are doing this and the universe is resting on our shoulders. And I don't see this at all. We are being done. creation is going happens even as an artist. It happens through me. I don't do shit. So we are going to be danced. What is it? The Zen and the art of archery. Breathed. We are going to be breathed. I don't think it. I can't refer to, anytime I try to refer to how I've been, it's inverted. There are no individuals. There's no such thing. We're individuated, but an individual is a full-time creation, which we don't have the time for anymore, or the concentration. I don't think it works that way anymore. I don't know, but most people do not see it my way, so that's just me. So I'm kind of waiting for
I think a lot of
something
people do see your way.
incomprehensible. Right. Sorry.
No, no, I wasn't trying to interrupt you. I just say that I think a lot of people do see it your way. And again, we've spent so much time comparing notes and I guess in a way validating our own consciousness, um, conscious awareness of our multidimensionality of our soul in form, life review in form. We're part of our multidimensionality is a multi-humanality, which is where we can feel what other people feel
Hmm.
from our own thoughts, from our own words and actions. These things are coming on very, very fast. And as the world stage, the reflection that it is, becomes faster and faster, it still is a reflection of all the work that we've all done as individuals. So what I'm saying is maybe our stories don't match up, but we all can relate to you because there is a level of unraveling um, that's occurring and a reweaving that's occurring at the same time. And the way it all works is a whole different way. It's not based on time. It's not based on tomorrow. It's not based on yesterday. It's based on presence and all these things that we talked about all these years. It's time. You know, I mean, it's really time. It's not like, oh, the solar flash is coming. It's time.
Hmm.
And it's a vulnerability that can only be transparency.
Hmm.
I think another way
Anyway,
I'd say
I
it,
used to do
especially, oh, I'm sorry, there are always a lag on
I
this.
spent ages and ages meditating and then clearing and all that, waiting for this sense of encompassing calm, you know. And I never got anywhere close as far as I can tell. But I did do a lot of meditating though.
You're not crazy. I'm not crazy. All of us aren't crazy. We never have been crazy.
I guess it's a feeling level thing. I also think it's simply I mean, I'm 71, right? My mom's 100, and I watched her do things like with light, like process light at all these different crises in her lifetime. So, but yeah, there's a big change, big influxes of light and body changing, and it's, yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
Body
it
not that
is.
flexible no more, neither.
Well, what was that?
The body's not that flexible anymore either.
Well, the body's a big part of it for me. I mean, I think it might be the biggest part right now.
Hmm.
It's speaking to us, not in judgment, not in damnation, not in, but basically as a real-time download, and the information, because it's coming from the human body, doesn't mean it has to be explained or understood or expected uh, in that moment in terms of transformation, so to speak. But if we look at our energetic downloads all these years, they always take time. But the
Hmm.
time between or I would say the connection or relationship between the body and our etheric or soul or multidimensionality is very close now. And for me, it feels like the conscious, how would you say it? almost like a conscious communion
Mm,
where, where our dignity and our integrity and our love and our heart is put in full alignment and action.
mm,
It's very humbling to
mm.
me.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. Nobody else talking here? I don't think I
No,
have
I
much
guess
to
not. You're
say.
stuck with me, or I'll just talk by myself because my soul told me you got to go back on.
Yeah, okay.
You got to go. Yeah. I mean, it was like, you got to do it. We're doing this. We're all doing this. Get the word out. I mean, I'll say for myself, I've found out, we've all found out so much about ourselves um, through our journeys, through it all. And it's crazy because the speed and the level or amount of things I have found out about myself in just say in the last month has
Hmm,
been ultra extraordinary. And the conversations between my human, which is much more than just my human or my body or my ego or, you know, and my soul are instrumental, in the conversations Morgan and I have over, I would say probably over the last month. Isolation, silence, um, the pause is so
hmm,
important because it really doesn't take us long in a quantum field to find that balance, especially with all the um, choices that we've made that have brought us to a higher place over our journeys. We've had plenty of experience doing it, and if we didn't believe in it, we wouldn't be here right now. We would be out not giving a care.
hmm. Yeah, maybe. So what kind of things have you learned about yourself? Wait, you're supposed to ask the questions. Wait.
Oh, I'm not. No, this is open forum. This is a round table. Anybody wants to come in, click the Zoom link. Uh, well, I don't know. It's, like I said, it's just a multitude of things. They're very, um, I don't know how you would explain it. Let's say that in the past that we might receive 10 things, in a given period of time, in a week or something. I would say that it's kind of the same thing, but every one of those 10 things times 10. So they all bring in 10 things, making up the one thing. So you have 100 things coming in, not 10. Uh, but I mean, for me, it's like the more each day, what we might call, let's say, the past, present, future. Um, I know less of it, but I know
Hmm,
love more. I know love more, and I can't explain it, and it doesn't equate to human conditional love, we might say, or even unconditional love from human standards. It's something totally different. And I think you talked about a little bit when you talked about there's just, us. It's one. That whole thing coming in. But like I've just found out all
hmm.
kinds of things. I don't even know where to start. Um, I don't know. I mean, that's little things are big things, and big things are little things. I think most of all, if I had to just sum it up right now, uh, in this moment, um, I'm in gratitude for the present moment. I don't know what lies ahead. Um, I'm happy to be with the person I love and want to be with the most in this world, and uh, and I'm in a cool place, and that's really about it. And very grateful to have that. And linear time has nothing to do with it.
Right. Yeah. I think that the thing my dad says when I go like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? He just every time it's go more and more multidimensional. It's more the telepathic, it's more the merger, it's more, yeah, things that are not overt or obvious that maybe nobody will even see, but you know, go there. And I go, it's lonely there. And he's going, not at all, actually. And it isn't actually when you go. But yeah, that was kind of fun. I was enjoying that. And now it's getting like more. Yeah.
We got another panelist. Hang on. Yeah, what else have I found out about myself? I don't even know. I'm just, it's crazy because I feel, I don't want to say speak for anyone else, but like, I feel like, I don't know how, I told Morgan this earlier. It's one thing to consider the human becoming accustomed with the soul, like almost like from the human condition, how you can receive. You know, we've all had problems receiving because of our self-value and self-worth. But it's another thing to consider the multidimensionality, everything contained within the soul, getting used to the human. I feel like that's where we're meeting. And that's why I feel like, I don't know, both y'all coming on. We're going to go to Kara here in a second. But I feel like there's something that we can share with each other. Um, and it's not anything to dictate your life, just an openness and a moment in a situation where two, three, four, five, six hearts are open and they just, even if they just say nothing, but just holy fuck. I mean, we're more than we ever knew. And it's coming to
More and
be,
more, I'm going with Dr.
oh,
Joe. More and more, it comes down to like what they say at an AA meeting, because it's about surrender. It's about something bigger than you. It's about fellowship and honestly sharing your experience. But yeah, all those things are maybe because I'm addicted to the way I used to live. I was addicted to being a person. I was addicted to being social. Yeah, and it's a lot of letting go of addiction. Things I repeated every
well,
day to feel good, you know?
yeah, but you know, it's like the saying, it's not the destination, it's a journey. And I think as far as finding unity, it becomes a consideration to acknowledge that we both want to end up in this, we all want to end up in the same place. And that, and also then begin to acknowledge that we all get there in a different way and that we all have the ability to get there and we will get there and we are there and etc. Um, and I think the other thing is too, like this space to me, and I love words and I love feeling words. And to me, I've said it for a long time, it's way beyond surrender. To me, it's a surrender that at the same time is empowering,
Well,
but it's
yeah,
not for the faint of heart. Kara Morris, Australia, right?
Yeah, yeah, Tasmania. How you doing?
How are you doing?
Good. I felt cold to come on.
Good. Well,
uh,
tell us what's going on. Talk about anything you want to.
I have no idea. I'm just kind of coming on as guided. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Just holding a lot of space. Um, you know, slow and steady, less is more, and um, yeah, you can really feel it. But it's empowering at the same time to have the life review of the gifts that we've all learnt, and like you said, we're all, it's all a similar experience. And yeah, I love listening to people's you know points of views. Great. Grateful that you bring that across.
A whole different space, and thank you. We have a new friend, Susan St. Jean. You can turn on your mic here. Turn on your mic.
Great. I'm
There you
glad.
go.
great getting that across.
Thank you, Kara and Susan. How are you doing? Thank you for coming in and entering this sacred space, this new life that we're all in, which is only seems to run on what we put into it, I guess you would say. But how are you, and what would you like to talk about or say?
Thank you, Kara and Susan. How are you doing?
Very nice to
Thank
be
you
here
for
with
coming in
everyone.
and entering this sacred space, this new life that we're all in, which is only seems to run on what we put into it, I guess you would say. But how are you, and what would you like to talk about or say? Kara and Susan, how are you?
I'm hearing a really, I'm
I
hearing a
think
really
what it
bad
is
echo.
you have your Facebook here. I'm going to mute you. Hang on. What it is you have your Facebook open, so it's playing and at the same time. So if you just click where you pause it. Yeah, you got it. Okay, here. Try it again. Try it again.
You have your Facebook here. I'm going to mute you. Hang on.
Oh no, it's still
What
doing
it is you have your Facebook open, so it's playing and
Yeah, you can just close Facebook. You can just close Facebook. Just close it. And when you close it, unmute yourself. Should work.
Oh no, it's still doing it. What it is you have your Facebook open, so it's playing and
Okay, well, Susan dropped out. I
I
mean,
thought that I
Orange.
came out of Facebook. Let me check my other. Yeah, no, I'm out of Facebook.
should work.
Let's see.
Oh no, it's
Test.
what it is you have your Facebook open, so it's
No,
playing.
it's all right.
Susan dropped out.
I'm going to mute you if
I
you think
thought
you
that
got it
I
figured
came-
out. I'm going to mute you, and if you think you get it figured out, then just unmute yourself. Okay, Kara, so here we are, trying to find something, I guess. That's what we've all been trying to do all this time. Who am I? Why am I here? Uh, all these things that we've downloaded and channeled and connected to and remembered, and they're all coming together, and the human is, and it's, to me, this is a deep, 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 deep discussion. I think it's a deep time. It's profound. It's moving.
It is. It's a beautiful time. I read recently that they named for science and technology, they named this year the year of the quantum, 2025, because it's been 100 years since that began. And I just thought, well, this year's definitely started off to a big bang, energy-wise. But it's a good thing. You can really feel, I mean, I personally can feel a split, and it's just like I get kicked in the bum if I go to one timeline and then I go to another timeline, and it's like I'm skipping. I wrote something recently about how, just being in a state of joy, even with the fear going on. I'm seeing things that just bring me joy, like picking raspberries off the vine for breakfast, and the tree was giving off just enough raspberries for me. And then when my son come back, all of a sudden the tree started producing double the fruit. It's like, trees feel their owner, or feel the person that cares for them, and it intuitively knew that, oh, I'm going to provide for more family now. That Eden sort of mentality, it's really simplistic, but like you said, it's simple, but it's deep too. And yeah, I get great pain, like with teeth, or if I'm blocking something. Yeah, I got bitten by a spider recently on the eye, and it really flared up. And I realized I was blocking something creatively I've been working on. I was blocking it. And as soon as I started to realize that, it started to go away. And I'm just very grateful for how sensitive we are, that these feelings guide us.
Hmm.
being in that quantum space, because it is very wishy-washy, because there's, there's not, as you know, it's not a linear path. It's like, choose your storybook ending sort of thing.
Hmm.
And we're the writer of the book. So it's, yeah, it's really kicked me in the butt, but it's also been very great too, just to see that, it is becoming more noticeable and quicker. The manifest is quicker, and letting go of the old. Yeah, it's going to be stronger, but that means we get to get rid of it quicker. The year of the snake, up and down. So, yeah, I am getting kicked in the butt in many ways in my life. I'm homeschooling 2 kids, and, we've all got our paths, but I definitely feel honored by that kicking me in the butt, because it's keeping me on track as much as I can, sort of thing. We've all got our things. Yeah.
Well said.
So,
Well said
thanks,
from the
man.
human soul, human voice. Okay, Susan, you got your, thank you, Kara. Uh, Susan, you got your thing worked out. So
I think
the,
so.
the
Think
floor is
so.
yours.
Very nice to be here with you. Kara, I wished I was where you are. You're in a tank top and I have a blanket on my lap and I'm freezing. So I'm gonna meld energy with you and get some of that warmth. But it's a pleasure to be here with you both. I'm so glad that I actually saw your post and was able to join you. So yes, it is very challenging times. We are in the cocoon, we're out of the cocoon, we're the cocoon, we're all of it all at once, and it's very challenging to stay balanced because we're all over the place, is what I'm experiencing. Um, Definitely times of purging still, a lot of purging still. Not as much, but definitely purging and being very, very present and being led to be very present with it, to really feel it, not allow the egoic mind to eject out of it, and just have real presence. And the pause that you spoke about, Todd, I really resonate with that as well. And I was given information years ago. I don't know if it's true or if it's not, but that the pause is like the pause in between the human heartbeat and the stillness, and that's where all of the knowingness and all of the truth and of our interconnectedness and everything is. And so I think a lot of it was symbolism, but it resonated. And yeah, the pause is a tough time, isn't it? To just surrender to it and be in action and just trying to figure it all out step by step. I think we all have that in common right now. So, yeah.
Well
Yeah,
said. Thank you. Go ahead.
that's really powerful. Like you said, pause, and they're talking about dog prophecy, and I had seen a Syrian fleet recently, and it does seem like pause, and that's always a struggle for me. I'm used to action. I've got Aries moon, and so that's a really great message. Thank you. Just to, because that's where the power, isn't it? Is in the present and in the stopping and the allowing. So yeah,
Yes.
I gotta take that
In
one on board.
my personal journey, really ever since just before COVID, I've been like really in isolation and needing to be for health reasons and different things. So it's it's definitely my knees are shaking a little bit. I just recently got back on Facebook and started connecting in that way. But yeah, it's definitely some fear in doing it and nerves of getting myself a little bit more out there and because I've been so isolated. So just speaking with other people is interesting. I'll say that. It's interesting. I've been so in the inner, and I don't feel like I've ever been fully grounded here to begin with. And so I'm challenged with being grounded. Because I'm just probably too much in the cosmos. I need that balance. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I that's beautiful. You know, you've got a lot of a gift that you bring. Um,
Mm.
yeah, it's interesting with the knees and being grounded, and I feel much the same way. You know, I'm out in the bush, and I just had to go away from society for about 3 years ago, and um, you know, but even though I'm out here in the quiet, I just get really busy fixing things and building things, and so that's, you know, where I was like yourself, ungrounded. I was just always, you know,
Yeah.
a bit ADD, doing 5 jobs at once, sort of thing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I've never been political. And like I said, on the theme of never really being like grounded here. Um, I'll go out socially for years now, and people will be just sharing, all my friends, they'll be sharing, and I'm sitting there like, how do you guys know all this stuff? Because I'm just not worldly. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not connecting in the world affairs and all of that. And so, yeah, but anyway, I just really, part of my grounding more was actually watching the recent politics and the election and all of that. And that's been very fascinating for me. Very, very fascinating, because it's all new to me. It's completely new to me. And yeah, I have my own, feelings and inclinations and intuitions about different things, but a lot of division in that right now, huh? I mean, there's division and separation anyway, because the blue and the red, but getting back on Facebook has been challenging in that way too, because ooh, it's a beehive, bees nests. Everyone's stinging.
It's,
Everyone's.
But
it's, you know,
but
yeah.
Morgan said this, I don't know, 3 or 4 nights ago, and then there was two videos. I think one was, I can't remember the lady's names, and an astrologist, she's real well known, and another lady that has like 100,000 followers, and was all three were talking in a way, I would call it neutrality, but not fluffy love and light neutrality, but acknowledging the energetic pattern and expansion and difference of what's occurring, regardless, you might say, regardless of politics or opinions or anything.
Yes.
Uh, Stuff's moving. It's moving, and we're all responsible for that. And so it's a real potent time in the sense that we can take one of those sides, if you want to put it that way, because if it's not that issue, it's another one. And there's a
Yes.
multitude of them. And these are the things that are settling deep into our human inner soul.
Yes.
But one thing that's, I'm Mr. Enthusiasm. You know what I mean? All these years. Hey, come on, and that's one thing that's been lacking as I've made this personal conversion. And I'll just leave it at that, letting everything go and then coming back. And now I'm 27 episodes into something that makes no sense. And, but the thing is, there's something to it. There's something to what you said earlier, both of you. And I had said earlier in a different way, and I'll just say it in another way. I feel that with my experience in this incarnation and the work that I've been in and devoted and everything, all of it, from my relationship to Sology to everything,
Mhm.
that many, 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 many of the high frequency people in the circles that we've been in are female, and they're very galactic. You might use that term.
Mhm.
So it's a very difficult adjustment, and that's where I got that insight, I think. Um, or at least of an equal consideration or more of what it takes for that multidimensionality to embody into the human.
Mhm.
It's not just the effect it has on the human aspects and its multifaceted dimensionality, but it's the effect that it has on the multidimensionality. So this is where it all meets. Uh, I feel that I don't know if it's because I've been here a long time, had, because I had memories going back to the original goo of Earth, this pink goo, which is just a message or a code for myself.
Mhm.
But I've had to really see that, um, or been shown that difference. And it's another example of the place that we're meeting within ourselves, with each other, etc. So I feel like that these feminine energies primarily, in our evolution and embodiment have reached a point where their hypersensitivity to the energetic changes that are occurring, um, has come into their body fully, and all else will follow. So maybe this is another interpretation of supporting the feminine energy so that it may come out. We think things because of our conditioning, I'm going to step into my power. Well, what is that really? I think we're all stepping into our power, and we're having a conversation where we're acknowledging that stepping into your power isn't like always a blissful thing. It's many different things. So, and again, thank you both for coming in and giving this a shot.
Yes.
I'm
Thank you.
okay to keep going if you guys are, and if anybody else wants to come in, the Zoom link is in the title of YouTube and Facebook and X, and
Wonderful.
you can come in the room and we'll have a extended chat.
Todd, I would love for you to share a little bit more of what you meant and as far as your experience of needing to see and go through seeing the pink goo, like what that was for you.
No, I probably didn't say that right, but I think I got your question, which I'll explain both.
Okay.
So my awakening, and I would probably say, well, I don't know, I can't say that. I'm just going to say my awakening, my reawakening, 2011. Um, my intel,
Mhm.
everyone's different, very organic, very much in the streets, very much in nature, very much in dark places. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like, 2 o'clock in the morning in the middle of a bayou. So, and then I have, of course, the privilege and honor and, of being with Morgan, as our relationship has somehow or another, as the individual goes, so goes the collective, and I guess as a couple too, in some respect, has paralleled all of our growth. So she's very galactic.
Mhm.
And to me, she represents something um, that I'm referring to, which typically would be a feminine embodiment, female body. Not always, but I'm just saying for the most part.
Yep.
Um, so I think to me, I mean, people talk about sacred union and twin flames, and to me, it's Morgan Todd Morgan, soul to soul. But in the human incarnation, like at this point in time, which I think is really for me, the only thing that's relevant is somebody asking me a question like this right now, and you think about it for the first time, really. But the 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 idea that we can put into physical reality and density those things which we contain within ourselves and with each other in the etheric field, let's say, is fascinating. And
Yes.
I firmly believe that to have someone opposite you, with you, opposite you, polarity, in the kind of connection we have, you can learn so much
Mhm.
uh, about yourself. And you need that mirror. And so the world is a mirror. This is just an example. I'm using Morgan as the example. And so I saw the difference. I could feel the difference. It was coding. It's still coding. It's incredible. It's something I can't explain really. But but I but I had only made the remark about the goo was that I maybe it's because I've been here for a long, long time and I'm still as galactic as you or Morgan or anyone else, but that's the closest thing to my memory, you
Okay.
know? So,
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
yeah, thanks for, yeah.
As you're saying this, if you, I just gonna put this out there, but there's seems to be something of the goo, you were the goo, and the feminine aspects were going to magnetize to that glue so that you became like a voice for the divine feminine. I don't know if that resonates or not, but that's what
Well,
it feels like.
everything's, it's so crazy because I find this type of space to be, and I don't really have it really with Morgan, you know, I mean, this new atmosphere, this new world that we're in hasn't been too long. Um, but it's amazing because the multidimensionality, you have this individual journey and this couple cohabitating. There's another one there, another stream, you might say, and then there's a friend of ours that forms a triad, and then there's more and more streams. But the reason I was saying that um, is because Susan asked me, like, what have you found out about yourself? One of the things that I guess I've always known. It seems like the things that we've kind of known that we had that intuitiveness about, or that innateness, or what got us crazy people to this place, um, is getting more and more pronounced and more believable and more trusted. And I think that's really what I'm feeling. And it's so profound. I can't be Mr. Enthusiastic, Mr. Todd, and hey, let's go, because I'm still sitting in the sobering effects of it all. And you know what I'd say finally is that there's I lost track for a second. Just hang on a second. That this space seems to open up a space, this type of space, whatever you want to call it, can happen anytime with ourselves and with others, and mostly with others is where I think it's really the object of the game here that we set up. But it's not so much the words anymore. I could feel the question that you asked me. And I could feel a lot of things on a multidimensional level.
Oh gosh, yes. Oh gosh, not, oh, yes.
So, so yeah, so I think it for to appreciate the space you share, you know, with yourself, with your partner, with the land, with, you know, what I was going to say before I got off on that little channel or whatever it was, is that
Mhm.
I have found uh, a truth that I has become more pronounced more than anything, and that is the mother goddess, mother.
Mm.
I mean, we all have different names, and I go out to the beach out here and I look at Father Son, and then I stand on mother, and I look into her womb, her ocean, and I might be standing on the roof here of the condo, and I'm standing on a masculine structure on her. Like there's something about her that um, I've never felt before. And when I have felt these things over the years, I want to say, let's say it was 3 times, 4 times. Uh, Huge things happen, and this one it's profound. It's indescribable. And I think I saw a post. I might have shared it, and it said, I don't know what the catch was, but it was like spirituality or something like that. Begin, number one, begin. Number two, continue. And it feels like that to me, and I feel safe. Um, but you know, as we're finding out, you can feel safe in spirit, you can be at peace, but your human has to be acknowledged and allowed to throw a fit or whatever the case is, and be better off for it and be done with it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you so much, brother. You guys have given me so many visions when you talk. It's a visual representation of everything, like starting from when you're talking about politics. You know, I could see the wings, you know, like you need both wings to fly, and that neutrality. You had come from a place of not being political, and now you enter into it. So you come
No,
from
I'm
a
not.
neutral place.
No, I'm not. I'm not entering into it. No, I
What I mean,
I don't want to enter into it.
yeah, I agree. What I meant is,
I'm playing with you. I'm playing with you.
so you fly, so you have a neutral, and yeah, this is just trying to sort through my head of the visions of what you guys talked about. When you said about the birthplace, when you talked about the magnetization, you know, you could see the pink light in the middle, and then you could see this white ring. It looked like, you know, like a port, you know, like the outside of a portal ring, and it had all this code, like this gold code on it, and the magnetization as you spoke, it was, you know, it's such a beautiful that you both shared that. And you know, the also, Todd, you said something about it's nonsense, like with the when you come on about and it is, you're talking from you know, no sense. You can pure, you know, you know, that 0 point place, you know, you're speaking from, and you can feel that. Like, I've loved zoology, and it's been my lifeline coming from isolation, like a lot of us, you know, that prayer that Morgan put out, and it manifested into a group that joined us together. And I've watched many shows and tried to come on and been too scared to. And like you said, it's powering up now, and the support and the strength and the sense of empowerment is so much stronger. And you spoke about the ocean, about how it's like the womb, and it just like, you know, I spoke about, hey buddy, I spoke about the galactic rain, and you could see the toroidal field. This little dude actually come onto zoology when he was 5 years old. He's now
I
8.
remember him. I remember him.
He has lots of spaceship. Hey, buddy. You all right? Yeah. Cool. He has lots of encounters. And like you said about bringing it into the now, everyday things. You know, when my sons were scared of spiders, you know, last night we got the download about the spider race, and how we're learning neutrality, not to be scared, because I've always loved spiders, and I could see the galactic lines from my father to the spider race, and we do have these certain galactic bloodlines, like with the Irish and the, you know, whatever you're connected to, you're given certain strengths in body to help the quantum fluctuation, but then you're given other tribulations of, say, the mind, you know. So that's, you know, the Vegas, like Dr. Joe speaks about, like that's the, you know, the Vegas is the new Vegas. You know, that's where we, you know, yeah, Vegas is the new Las Vegas. That's what I was trying to say. The Vegas nerve. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, I spent so much time talking to different people, and we all have our own interactions and connections. And we've talked a lot about cross. There's, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But we've
Yeah.
talked about how things have accelerated and we process things faster and, you know, all that stuff. To me, it's taken everything to a new level. Like the term feeling, I'm feeling it. like even in terms of like the vagus nerve or other things about the particular biology, of the human, or how things are, connected, or the electrical, system, or um, is falling away, like instruction. I mean, to me, storytelling is probably the strongest suit. And that might not be the right word, but I guess what I'm trying to say is the feeling is the feeling. And the feeling isn't just the gut and the intuition and the mind, it's the body, it's the it's everything, it's the multidimensional, it's this feeling that's creating a newness, that's not disturbing. It can be, but it's new for the multidimensionality. It's new for the human multidimensionality. And we are in this space where we're, yeah, like you said, Susan, figuring it out, but we can function more and more and more in this space. It's coming into this space that
Yes.
builds it. And so that can be done, in my opinion, anyway, by Todd jumping on and doing a live spirit walk, or doing something for Morgan or for myself, or um, doing this. But this feeling, like this, you know how it is when like when I first saw Morgan, or many times still, even actually, if when I get these like butterflies, like this, it's not like a nausea, but it's like a butterflies, like that you get when you're, I don't know what the word is. There's not a word for it. It feels like that. And and that's why I recognize it. And so for the human, it's like, oh my God, I mean, I can't stay there very long. Sometimes it's not more than a few seconds, but I know I feel that to come back and to come back and to come back. And the other thing I wanted to say, Susan, because again, it's a multidimensional conversation. The remark you made about the mother goddess and serving the mother, serving her daughters, serving, my physical incarnation of her. Um, yeah, that's I had a talk the other night with the universe, one of my many, many talks, and we go into this thing about how high does it go? You might put it that way. And I went
Oh,
through it all, and it was very, 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 very much felt in my body, and it was, I would say, a dimensional physical experience, as we have. And I got to her, like the chicken and the egg, the chicken and the egg, and it got to her, and it just stopped. And I'm like, that's it, yeah, and that's where I've always come from. Um, and so again, these things that have got us here, and these things that we know about ourselves that have been shrouded and not forgotten, but harder to see, or whatever you want to call it, they're coming in. Our true self's coming in. True
mm,
reality's coming in. It's on us, and it's not a cliche. And this is what it feels like. It feels
yeah.
like 10 minutes ago, I felt like I was going to throw up. I mean, and it's okay. I started crying. I mean, it's okay. It's more than okay. It's more than okay than what we used to talk about. Men need to cry. This is bigger than that. This is where we all drop all of our pretenses, and we go face to face, eye to eye with our self, and then
Do you feel that it's
our
our
loved
self or
ones.
or
So,
the self?
well, yes, I obviously there is no other, right? But I feel that for me today, right now, contemplating this, that the human, that's our potential. That's where we wanted to put ourselves, to be in a physical density of this nature that's never been done before, to have universal seating on a very unique planet, to be in the graces of the mother and the structure and support and containment of the father, and to do it with each other. So yes, but but I can't get to oneness or unity beyond myself, like with 1,000 people, until I can do it with one. And I've been graced to have that opportunity. And I believe many people are across this world, and not necessarily romantic. It could be a soul that is a chihuahua. It could be a bird. It could be a lot of different things, you know? So,
Yeah.
Dogs are good soulmates.
Mm.
yeah.
She's very galactic.
When you kept going up and up and up and up and then it stopped,
Mm.
do you feel that that was your merging back into the oneness of Mother? And that's
Um,
why it felt like it stopped?
well,
There
stopped isn't,
was no you and outside of you?
um, yeah, again, I think you could see it that way, but again, I'm trying to relate it as a human incarnated in the moment. And I would say it's more of a revisiting. So let's just take that example or that process. I've done it many times. My throat chakra is exploding and I can't talk, but um, so I've been down that road before. Let's just put it that way. And I can only go so far. And
Okay.
so I got to that point the other day with the question being, are there other constructs or realms? And of course there is, and we can keep going, but there is a structure that I saw in a different that I saw from a place I hadn't seen before, which is the way I put it, or I would say like in the space of an atom, 90 whatever it is, 99% of it's empty, and that's the mother, right? Like I saw that, I thought, well, there's no reason to go any further because it works the same everywhere you go.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I got that today. I walked out and sat on these steps and was feeling all this, just holy crap, but not in the dirt, not in the dirt but just taking in the immensity of it all and
Mm.
staying present, and contemplating, allowing things to come in and try to figure out what to do next.
As you're speaking, Todd, it feels to me like instead of being present, you were the presence.
I
That's how it
don't know.
feels to me.
Yeah, I mean, and I totally relate, accept, honor that, hold it in the highest reverence, because I think another thing that I'm experiencing, and I feel like a lot of people could relate, is that everything is speaking to us all the
Mm.
time, all the time, without judgment, which
Yeah.
means if I'm being shown something without judgment, then don't judge myself. And so you just something as simple as this gathering of the three of us and you saying that right now carries a lot of weight.
Mm.
I think it's the things that we're closed down to that are being shown to us, and it's not a comfortable thing, but there is a domino effect to it. And if we keep bringing those things into a center and give up our stories and such, then when we come out on the other side now, because there's still going to be cycles, we're in a more and more magnificent place, and we don't have to spend our time trying to convince each other. It's just it's just obvious. Things are becoming obvious, I guess is another way to say it. But we can't at least I speak for myself, I can't let my old brain or my old process go, okay, well then I got to do this or I got to do that or let's do this. No, just let it let it be. If there's no
Mm.
time, there's no time. And let Todd put your faith in um I am soul. I mean that's all I got left,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm in a incarnation where I'm having the opportunity to show that in my physicality, but also with my partner and so on and so on. And everybody's got that, to me, everybody's got that same trajectory or objective or space that we're finding ourselves in sooner or later,
Yes.
sooner than later. Like, I can't believe how nervous I am after doing all the stuff I've done over the years, in this very moment. But I know this is what the mother is asking. And I'll just say it this way. That's what the mother is asking her son to do. And I'll fucking do it, and I've done it before, but this is a whole different thing. Don't get me wrong. I don't have it figured out, but showing up and giving it your best shot with an open heart and pure intention and true and the highest unconditional love that you can muster in that moment, to me, there's no way to lose.
That's
Totally
beautiful, man.
resonant. Yes, I agree, Kira. Yes.
It's so important, you know. I mean, I I had a visual that, like, earlier as I was just going about cleaning, and I set out to soul, like, I could feel like an inflammation on my right side, and it was like there was pressure and there was obviously information, or I needed to speak out, or there was something to come out. And I said, how do I do this? Or, how do I go about this? Like, send the love out to the field. And then I had a vision of, who to speak to. And then I had a vision of Todd. And then it was like, almost like Todd spoke telepathically, are you game? You know what I mean? And there was like a part of me that's like, oh shit, am I? Sort of thing. And then you put up a video and then you put a round table. It was like, oh shit, now I've got to walk the walk and actually not just play it out in the galactic realm. I have to ground it into the earth realm and attempt to go online. And yeah, it's amazing that these things work. It's so humbling. And that's so kind that you speak about the butterflies and stuff, because yeah, it is nerve-wracking, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I got pink eye, half my eyes shut and swollen, but I don't care. Like you said, you're the mother has asked, and you're you're listening to her, and that's just beautiful. Thank you. She needs being heard. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy because I think it was last year about this time, like Morgan's intel was, we're going to have to move away from everything. And she can tell me something, or you can tell me something. Anybody can tell. I can tell you something, but until we get there on our own,
Yeah, resonance.
the experience is life, and life is what we're what we're trying to get our arms around, right? But I mean, so an example would be the mind, and they're all egos here, brain, mind, all these different parts, as we talked about earlier, would say you need to do like you used to, 3 shows a day, get some abundance going. But
Yeah,
my souls come in, and I'm just saying this as an example. My souls come in, and this is the kind of stuff Morgan and I talk about, and said, you can't do it. We both talk about this. You can't do it for money. You can't do it. You have to do it in this, what I feel is close to it, or this is it right here. And that will all come to you from there. And this is how it works. And that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But if we really think about it, our journeys have been spotted, marked with these same things. They were just flashes, and then a little longer. And now we're moving into full time all the time. And it really is the stretch run. This is no winners or losers. There's no judgment. This is our opportunity, I would say, to grow and at lengths that are not very common. I've always felt like it's a site, the last cycle of cycles, like a clock, and you go all the way around, and every tick of the second hand and the minute hand and the hour hands were cycles within cycles, and we've got all the way around to the end. And it's not a death, it's a new universe, new you, new everything, opportunity based on what we've all been doing all this time, working on ourselves, honoring ourselves, loving ourselves more, less projection, less judgment, less, the things that pulled us back. We've got a new friend. Let's see. They come in.
Yeah.
This is a lot of energy, y'all,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's a lot of energy. I'm
Roz,
not sure who the Roz. I don't know if this is Roz from Israel.
I
Is she in?
experience, it feels to me like um, a death and birth at the same time, a rebirth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, she's coming. There she is. Roz.
Hi, Roz.
Hello, Roz. Nice to meet you.
Hi everyone. With my specs on.
Yes. What would you like to share?
Me.
Yes.
Okay. Um, I followed Todd for roundabout just during the COVID period. I'm based in Spain. I'm in South Africa at the moment. So I have been following him. That's why I said, what's my name on here? Because I'm on Facebook under a different name. So my name is Roz Williams. But on Facebook, I have a Diana Osiris name. So that's my spiritual name, which, so I'm just here and I listen to you all and it's wonderful. So the journey, the purpose, and yes, we are learning. And I think what we are learning is to love ourselves more. I want to share something. This week I learned that we are here for 4,000 weeks approximately in our life if we live to 70 years of age.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a very, very, very interesting fact.
Way to look at it. Yeah.
It's 4,000 weeks.
Wow.
And I have a lot of
You have to excuse me for just 1 second. I didn't know I was going to be on this long, and I have to run to the restroom, so I'll be right back.
Absolutely.
Keep going though. We're on live.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on live. It's like so I chat to people. I don't know if I'm still on sound.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. And lots of people give you this I'm not a coach. My purpose is guidance. Because we all are in charge of our own selves. So this 4,000 weeks seems a more positive way to look at things and take each day, not as a day, I thought as a week.
Yeah.
Which makes it feel more, I don't know.
Stimulating. I can feel more like, stimulate.
Yes. Stimulation.
It puts it into a different perspective of, I can
life.
I'm feeling it.
Human body that we're in, this presence that we have.
Yes.
And it's been such a, as I say, journey. I was on a retreat. That's how I was listening to Todd. Well, that will be past 3 years ago with one. I'm a Huna, by the way. So that's another part that I do is I think Todd knows my elder and also another lady in Scotland. So I've never been on Todd's live. I've been on like House of Huna lives, and I'm a very normally private person.
Yes.
So it takes a lot for people to put their face,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
and it's so for guidance, for example, I don't mind if people use AI filters until they feel strong enough to become who they are. And I'm not hiding as Diana or Sarah.
You're playing the field.
I took a goddess's name, Diana, the goddess Diana, and I made a Freudian slip, and it should be Osarta. It's Osara, and if you Google Osara, it's an Indian temple, so it exists. And I waited patiently for someone to pick up on that name, and they
Oh,
never did. They never did. So it's so really it's not important who we are
mm-mm.
on Facebook as it, you know, like how many followers or if we're great that words. What's important is that we're doing the purpose that we're meant to do.
Yes.
Mm.
You know, to speak to what you were just saying, Roz, about that name and that you were waiting for someone to know what it was and no one did. Do you feel though that you're broadcasting it anyway? Like the language of human verbiage is not what's important. And so as the energetic consciousness and the experience that you are having in the embodiment, right, of your own, do you feel that you're broadcasting that out and that the information is people are getting the information even though they might not understand it in the human verbiage, but they're getting the energetics of it? Does that resonate?
Yes, it was like a portal. If you can
Yes.
imagine, it's a portal of it. It's I think I have 600 people, and I the reason I kind of didn't we all became followers of each other without even knowing. I mean the knowing, as in quantumly. Yes, we are aware,
Yes.
you know, but this I've never really put photographs of me on that page, but the people who know me are all well aware.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I'm a Huna sister, so I was part of Huna Flash, my Otitake, and like Todd is aware of many people that I'm aware of, but that's not what's important. For me, it's important I'm here in this little space, in this moment, talking to you.
Yes.
And I've been listening to you guys. Many times I sit in Facebook and I didn't know how to get on Zoom. And I've watched Todd, and he's not really been aware I'm one of the people out there. So, as I say, quantumly, I do believe that my actual energy presence is there.
Mhm.
So, you know,
Yes.
it's there.
Yes.
It totally is. You mentioned Diana, you know,
Yeah.
she's a warrior. You mentioned Diana, you know, she's a warrior, you know, she's a badass when it comes to protecting her shield. So you can, you know, I could see you traveling quantumly with this badass armor. So it's like,
Listen, girl, do you want to
you
read
come
my tea that you've just said?
out.
You just called me a badass.
That's funny.
Look like you're
I
totally
think
badass.
Hey, quantumly.
Oh,
this
that's
was
fun.
This powerful
this was
shield.
all
Mm.
This was awesome. This was what the doctor ordered.
Mm.
I think there's so many things we could all talk about, but I think we made a little progress today, and
Mhm.
you know, coming into a space with being open and without intention. Well, with intention to be open and wide open, and see what happens. Yeah, let's. I'm never been a real conventional light worker, but I do a lot of rituals and prayers, a lot of prayers,
Mhm.
what I think you would call prayers, and always have, and always will. But yeah, I just find that maybe part of the reason that we haven't moved, nothing wrong, no judgment, moved into our multidimensionality uh, in a more balanced way, is in a quicker way, is because maybe we have talked about it in all its different aspects before this change, meaning what happened to you and how was it, and all that, and what do you get and what's your gifts. But to acknowledge the space itself is what I'm saying. Maybe that will, as mundane and human as that seems, I think it's very powerful. So if you want to stay, I'm just going to do a quick, closing.
Mhm.
Very good.
Okay, so let's
Thank-
all join in the circle of life, join hands, and be surrounded by another circle with all our spirit guides and angels and family and soul monad and all those things that make up that which we understand and don't. And in this moment, hold ourselves, the human being, the human soul being, the soul human being, in the center of the circle of life as all the universal looks upon us in this eternal moment. And in equilibrium, we emit and receive the highest intention and alignment, the highest unconditional love, an open heart, and to be able to see and feel and sense the oneness with not just each other, but all things. And may we show up um, again in even deeper gratitude and humility and openness and curiosity and innocence and love and light. Thank you, ladies. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you for showing up today and every day. And
Mhm.
don't know what'll happen tomorrow, but I'll probably be back on. Try it again. But thank you very much. It helped me a lot on a personal level, and I hope it helped others. Thank you.
Nice
Yes.
merging with everyone.